How's it going, everyone? Wafar here. Welcome to Heliopolis Radio. Today, I've been fortunate to be joined by Dave Weiss, also known as Flat Earth Dave. And today, he's here to present his evidence for the flat Earth perspective. I don't want to call it theory. Who knows what's truth and what's not? So, again, this is an open platform, and we're here to listen to the information that you have to present, Dave. So, thank you for coming on to the show. Without further ado, I hand it over to you. Tell us about yourself and what is it that you love to do, firstly.
Um, that's a big question, man. So,
It is.
what I love to do is I love showing people their true potential. I love showing people the truth of our world and exposing the lies. And that's because when somebody wakes up to that, they gain the potential to live to their true full potential. And people are like, well, I'm doing really well. I got a good job. I get 2 weeks off in the winter and, I make good money and I could feed my family. But that's it. They don't understand the true potential that they have. And they're stuck in what I call the slave system, where we live on a ball. There's limited resources. We're overpopulated and we have to work to live. We're the only species that needs to work to live. We and things that should be free are not free, and they literally drain us, or drain our energy, take all of our time. And the people that are running this world, people want to believe that the government is here to protect us, but they're not. They're here to control us and like cattle. So that's what I do. I go around, I talk to people like you, Mafuro, and others who haven't yet broken the chains of the globe, and I help them see. And I tell people, don't believe anything I say. Now, for those of you that are having a guttural reaction right now, like what difference does it make? I still have to go to work on Monday, or the shape of the earth doesn't affect my life. There's more important things. I can show you that there's nothing more important than this lie. Nothing. Without exception, because this lie is the foundation of all the other lies, all the other horrible things that are going on in this world. And if you think this is crazy, that means you think the earth is a globe. And if you think the earth is a globe, then there should be proof of it. So I offer 3 Bitcoins. You know what a Bitcoin is?
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin's worth
Was
$99,000 today.
was it
Right?
100 or it's 99? It's gone
It's
down now,
99.
right?
Yeah. It crashed to
Okay.
99. Okay.
All
So
right.
$300,000 for one globe proof. But you got to listen to the podcast and not waste my time, because I'm going to show you, what about seasons, day and night, tides, sunsets, all of these things are fully explained, but you were never shown them. You were told to laugh at flat earth. You were told, you weren't told what flat earth was. You were told something that would just make you run away from flat earth. For example, you were told, if you Google flat earth, you end up with this. This isn't flat earth.
I
This
actually
is
saw,
stupid.
I did see that when I was looking at the pictures.
This
I
is
did
the
see a whole
dumbest
bunch
thing
of.
ever. This is the dumbest thing ever. They want you to say, hey, we're a disk or we're a planet. Neither one of them are true. All right. But they give you what's called a false dichotomy. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so they give you choice A, choice B. Both are wrong. So whatever you pick is wrong. And then they make it so stupid sounding that you'll never willing to look into it. Right. When the truth is, maybe the world is set up like this, that we're in a pond and the shoreline of our pond is higher than the water, right? You need containment. Water needs containment, right? If you had a glass of water and the side of the glass was missing, so would the water be, right? If
I
if the
see.
edge of a
I see.
lake, if the edge of the lake was lower than the lake, then the water would go away. It's not contained. Water needs to be contained. How do you contain water on the outside of a ball? Well, I'll tell you how you contain it in a pond. You contain it with the highest land. This is the average elevation of all the continents in the world. This is Antarctica.
Wow.
Yeah. So Antarctica is the shoreline of our world pond.
Like it's the glass perimeter or the
Well,
outskirts.
I don't, it's just the shoreline. It's higher. It's the shore, right? If you're on a lake, you can sail all around that lake, but when you sail away from the center of the lake, you're going to hit the shoreline You're not going to fall off. You're going to step up onto the land. The land is always higher than the water, right? So the ice wall, they want you to believe that this is the flat Earth, but this is the shoreline of Antarctica. 2 pictures, shoreline of Antarctica, right? And that is, and some areas of Antarctica may look like this, but it quickly gets higher. The average elevation, it contains all the water, right? And people say, oh, the ice wall, you think Game of Thrones and it's the edge of the Earth. No, it's not the edge of the Earth, right? People say, well, where's your ice wall? Show me a photo. Go take a look. There's videos. There's photos. This is a ship pulling up to the ice wall. This is the ice wall. This is the shoreline. The question is, what's out there? What's beyond the shoreline of Antarctica?
Beyond the shoreline.
Yeah.
I've heard there's stories. I don't know which explorer it was who it's depicted in
Admiral
some
Byrd.
olden. Yes, I heard that one. Obviously, he mentioned that a whole bunch of stuff exists beyond the Arctic or Antarctica for that matter. And so, are you in alignment with that belief or his statements, or you have a different theory or perspective as to what's beyond the edge?
So Admiral Byrd said that when he flew beyond the South Pole, right, now on a globe from where he came from, right, he flew beyond the South Pole. There's more land bigger than the United States. So that would be between where you are and South America, and land bigger than the United States. Don't you think that maybe somebody from Africa might have seen it? Right? Land bigger than the United States that no human has ever set foot upon. Right? And that's interesting, right? But here's the thing: a lot of people say, "Well, Admiral Byrd's a Freemason," and well, I believe a thing called revelation of the method, where they always have to tell us the truth. He told us the truth. He literally went on a news show in 1959, I think it was, and talked about this more land no human has ever set foot upon it. Right? That's impossible on a globe. And if you look at it, this is a flat Earth map behind him, and it's a clock because the sky is a perfect clock. The sun keeps track of the hours and the days. The moon keeps track of the weeks and the months, and the stars keep track of the years, the seasons and the years, right? So
sorry to cut you off. This is the part where I get confused now is in terms of celestial motions, right?
Yeah.
The planets exterior to us. How do they fit in this flat Earth model? Are they themselves 2D plane? I mean, not 2D, but are they themselves flat and contained within the same? Like, how do they interact with us?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering where they fit in this model. Sorry.
So let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen a planet?
No, but then obviously with what we have, I mean, we see pictures of the planets. And
hold on. Who gave you the pictures of the planets? There's 2 sources. One of them is Disney, and the other one is NASA. Okay? Yeah. Which one's more credible? I say Disney. Okay? NASA is complete and total, not a space agency, never a straight answer. They're they own the largest green screen studio in the United States or the world. Okay? Really? NASA does. Yes.
Wow.
NASA does. And so wait, so just so I don't lose track, we're going to go over celestial motions. I'm going to show you right here. Then I'm going to show you something that you never knew about the celestial motions. And then I'm going to show you NASA doing some stuff to show that they're not credible. So the sun moves around. Let me turn this on. So wait, hold on. I'm going to stop it right now. You're in South Africa. So I'm guessing it's late afternoon.
It's 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. Closing on 6 p.m.
So you're here. The sun has gone past you. I'm here. If you draw a line from here to the center, I'm on that line, and it's 10:44 in the morning, and the sun is coming towards me, so it's rising. It's coming closer, so it's rising, right? So wherever the sun is, it's noon. So it's midnight over here. It's noon over here. Right. And, in a couple hours, the sun will be rising in Australia. And when the sun's over here, if I call my friend in Sydney, he'll say the sun's right above him. It's warm because it's right above him and it's high in the sky and it's noon. Right. So the sun will lap the moon once every 28 days. So as it gets farther from the moon's phase gets bigger and it'll lap the moon. As soon as it's 180, it'll start waning and it'll get closer to the moon. Right. I'll slow it down. I'll turn on the stars. The stars are going faster than the sun, just a little bit though. So it's going to take 365 times around that track for the stars to lap the sun. So what happens to the sun? The sun will drift backwards through each zodiac for about a month in each zodiac. And 365 days later, it'll line up again right where it is. So there's our months, our seasons. The moon keeps track of the months. The sun keeps track of the days. And you know how they confused us? The sun goes around once every 24 hours, right? The seasons happen once every 3 months. The year is a year. The months are every 28 days. First, they told us there's only 12 months. They said some have 30, some have 29. One has, 28, First, it used to be 13 months of 28 days and 1 day to reset the year, 365. Then they said, you know what? We're going to give them clocks, but we're going to make the hour hand go around twice every day instead of once. So they'll never put together where they live. Right? The sky clock is where time comes from, right? So here we are, right? The sun's going to be setting for you in a couple hours. Sun's all the way over there. The daylight. So that's that motion. So now we're going to go to, so the planets that you've seen. Let's look at planets for a minute. So Disney and NASA have shown you planets. So let's look at some planets. Where is it? Come on. There it is. Here is, where is it? Yeah. So this is from NASA. This is Jupiter. Pretty cool, right? Recent picture, zoom in on Jupiter, right? And then here is another picture that NASA gave us of Jupiter. And here's another image. And then here's one. Who took that picture of that satellite in front of Jupiter? Who took that? They have another satellite right there that got a perfectly framed shot, right? Here's another picture of Jupiter, right? And then this is another picture. These are just like AI drawings. This is nonsense, right? But they want you to believe. They want you to believe that, right? This is Jupiter. You ever like play with watercolor paints? Like swirling them around with a little bit of water, right?
Yeah, and then it kind of blends in and creates that.
Yeah, that's NASA, right? That's from NASA. So let me ask you a question. And this is how easy it is for them to trick people. What planet is this? Saturn or Jupiter?
There's no ring on the outer side, so I would say that is Jupiter.
Yeah, but you see what I did? I gave you a false binary. It's a pond with grass and ducks. Okay?
Wow.
You see it? This is water. There's some ducks right here. This is grass. Some more water. But what I'm saying is, look how easy it is. You're in a show where I'm showing you deception. I'm talking about deception, and I deceived you. I hate doing that, but I was deceived when it was shown to me. I was like, oh, it's Jupiter, you idiot. Right? And then you look at it, and we want to believe, and we're programmed to see all of these things. This is in one of NASA's studios. They made a big model of Jupiter, and then they use this. This is at NASA. Why are they making such detailed models, right? And then we're also that's just all I'm saying is this is the picture from 2014 that everyone's in every textbook. Yeah. Right? They say that this is a storm bigger than 15 Earths or 20 Earths or whatever, spinning and spinning. And these are gas clouds. Then in 2016, they said, oh, we got a picture of the Northern Lights, which means that Jupiter has a magnetic core. That's what it means, right? That's what this is what they're telling you. At any time, you can say, "Cool story, bro." Okay, right? But look at the clouds. They're exactly the same. This one's just a little darker. It's the same photo. So is that revelation of the method, or are they just that stupid?
Okay.
Right? And then They say a NASA spacecraft zooms over Jupiter's swirling clouds at 131,000 miles per hour and gets this perfectly sharp picture, right? That's cool. That's the best picture I've seen of Jupiter, right? But they want you to believe in that nonsense. Now, I'll give you A, B, or C, so it's not a false binary. Two of these are planets, and two of them are drawings. All of these are planets, or half are real, half are fake.
2 seconds. I'd say.
All right, I'm not going to make you answer because that's a
no. Two.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say maybe two, but then again, if you going by what you said, we haven't seen a planet, so then that's none of them can actually be true.
This is very good. You're a smart guy. It's a false trinary. It's the first time I've ever done that. It's all the bottoms of frying pans. These are just burnt frying pans. Okay, these are just burnt frying pans. All right. So again, I think they look better than what NASA shows us, right? I think they look better than what NASA shows us, right? Here is this is through a P1000 camera zooming in on Mars. It's a little out of focus, but it's very interesting. Like, what is going on here, right? This isn't what NASA will show us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And planets used to be called wandering stars. They used to be called wandering stars. Here's Venus.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, what is that? I don't know. You know, and all of the planets are named after God.
Where did you get this footage? I mean,
this is those are this is NASA footage. Now look at this. It's going to loop. This is that storm that's bigger than a dozen, 20 Earths, whatever. Look at the clouds going this way, this way. Now this time lapse, I can't remember if it's hours, days, or even weeks, but it doesn't matter. I just showed you two pictures that were over 2 years apart, and none of the clouds changed. This is from NASA. So this was, from years ago. They're saying, this is a storm. It's huge, right? Well, the clouds are changing every second, but the pictures they show us years apart have the exact same clouds. What does that tell you about NASA? They're lying.
Oh, fair point. Fair point.
They're lying. And if they lie about one thing, they lie about everything. If you catch your girlfriend cheating on you once, maybe you're like, all right. But then you find out she did it 50 times and she did it yesterday. And she's, like, come on.
Yeah.
At one point, you got to say no. You got to say no, right?
No,
Here, so if Jupiter is this big and the Earth is this big, right? The sun's far away. It's way bigger, right? Right. But that's not Jupiter. That's a moldy orange. Okay. Not that it really looked like Jupiter, but I'm saying if NASA showed you this and said this was a new planet, it's actually an orange an orange, the fruit, an orange.
Yeah,
and it's moldy. It's moldy. It's covered with mold. That's all it is. It's just a picture of a moldy orange.
And you have proof that this is an orange that they used.
It's mine. No. I did this. This is my photo. Right. I'm just saying I don't. And guess what? My budget is zero. NASA gets $75 million every single day. What do you think they could do with that?
No, true. No, I hear you where you're coming from on that. So
right, and this is Saturn. This is the latest picture of Saturn. Cool. This is nonsense. They can get a picture of Saturn, but they have no photos of Earth. You know that NASA admits they have no photos of Earth.
Sheesh.
And this is Pluto. Check this out. The latest. This is the latest picture of Pluto. But if you Google NASA photo of Pluto, it's this, and it has the dog. Doesn't that look like Pluto the dog, the Disney character? Okay. Are they rubbing in our faces? Are they revelation of the method? Are they stupid? Are they just making a dumb joke? What's going on?
Wow.
Yeah. And this is on I think this is on one of the moons, the Venus moons or something. They showed us this. I don't know. That could just be a coincidence, right? Right. And if I said NASA found this cool Earth looking planet, right? That's interesting. Right. But in reality, This is just a fisheye lens looking at an old gas tank. Okay. Budget zero. Budget zero. Right. This is what NASA shows us. And this is what our consumer optics show us. Right. So the one thing now I just want to get back to this. So when they teach you about the globe, they say we're all orbiting the sun, right? All the planets, the Earth is orbiting the sun. Why is our North Star? You can see the North Star, right?
Yeah.
You're in the northern hemisphere, yes? Yeah.
No,
you're southern hemisphere.
Southern hemisphere.
All right. So, but you know that we can see we have a North Star.
Yeah, and then they use that as the focal point.
Yeah. So the axis of the Earth points to the North Star. So if this is Earth and our North Star is up here, it's only important to us, not to any other planet. Like if you lived over here, you wouldn't care what North Star was, right? Because like this planet or a North Star could be here, right? Wherever it's pointing, it doesn't matter. But this planet, it might have its north axis over here, and this one might have it over there, and this one might have it over there. So the North Star is only important to the planet that it's on, right?
Yeah.
However, check this out. This is the path of different planets. These are the paths of planets. This is a asteroid called Juno. And this little dot is Polaris. They all circle Polaris. The sun, the moon, asteroids, and all of the planets and all the wandering stars, everything, whatever you want to call them, they all circle Polaris. How can you explain that in the heliocentric model?
Wow. And so you're saying what is Polaris?
Polaris is the center. Polaris is the center.
It's a cousin.
It's the center of our world. It's where they say the creator sits and, has created center. From. It's the center. And everything that we see in the sky is local within our system. Everything is within our system.
Wow.
All right. Where do you want to go from here?
Wow. A lot.
Why would you wrote that you think that the Earth is a spinning globe, which I won't judge you for, maybe a little bit though. So give me a reason after what I've shown you. You're a man that looks like you're willing to change your opinion based on new information. What would you say is the number one thing that would make you think the Earth is a globe? And it's hard. Isn't that a hard question? Because you've never really thought about it.
I'll be honest with you, because when it comes to me, and you can ask my friends about this, but I've always never been firmly fixed on what shape the planet actually is, because as you mentioned, I've never perceived it. I've never been able to have a bird eye lens view of what the planet is shaped like. So I do understand that they are different ways of looking at it, but I was gonna maybe ask in terms of this, if the Earth isn't a sphere and a globe, as a person in the question, right? Then what is the actual shape? So how does three-dimensional shape work then? How are we able to perceive things in the three-dimensional form if it's flat? Because when
think about this, they navigate the Earth with latitude and longitudes, right? An XY system, right? And wherever they cross, where's the Z-axis? How come there's no, like if we're on a globe, like from me to you should be, okay, this longitude, this latitude, and then you're, because you're in Africa, you're 2,000 miles lower than my point of view, or I'm 2,000 miles lower than yours because it's around the curve. Right. But everything's measured on a flat X and Y axis, right? The Earth is not flat. It's a topographical plane, hills, valleys, mountains, trenches, everything. But water at rest lies flat. Water always lies flat, right? No matter how high we go, we don't see curvature. 127,000 feet. Is that 93 million miles away, or is it right there kind of lighting up this area? It's a little darker over here. How come it's not lighting everything up equally? right?
I see.
Because
Yeah.
it's just over there with a hot spot, like a local light. If you held a light across the room at the wall, it would light up the whole wall evenly. But if you held it closer to the wall, it would be a hot spot on one area of the wall, right?
Hmm.
Kind of like this has a hot spot closer to where the sun is. What is the sun? I don't know, man. And neither do you. Okay.
So
But
then what would the sun be to you in terms of its relevance to our solar system as a celestial body then? If you mentioned that Polaris is the cosmic center
yeah.
predominantly governing, the motion and trajectory of things, where does the sun fit into this?
Well, the sun, the sun is the light of our world. The sun gives us life. It feeds us. A lot of people relate the sun to um, religious leaders. They all have the same story. The story of Jesus is he died on the 21st and was resurrected on 3 days later. Well, the sun goes out to the Tropic of Capricorn,
Mm-hmm.
right? Out to this yellow line on the 21st of December. It stops, it stays there. So it dies for 3 days. And then it starts coming back on the 25th. It starts rising
Wow.
again. So the sun has risen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Names like when you say, that if you and I were at the beach watching the sunset, we're 100 feet apart or whatever, you're going to see the
Mm-hmm.
sun glimmering on the water, walking right out. That streak on the water will come right to your feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll see the streak coming to my feet. I'll look over at you. I don't see that. You look over at me. You don't see it. So you might say you have a personal relationship with the sun, and it walks on water. Okay. Now
Wow.
that Jesus isn't the only one that relates to this. There's 20, 30, 40 other religions that have the exact same story. So what is the sun? Without the sun, we're all dead.
Mm-hmm.
The sun is the light of the world. It without it, nothing exists. What is it? I don't know, but it's very close, and it gives us everything that we have. So some people might say the sun might be the light of the creator. Creator made it.
I guess the question I was going to ask, just the implications of what you're sharing, obviously, what would this mean for air and space travel in terms of how we navigate the globe? Is they based on, because I know there was someone who mentioned that air traffic, or in terms of air travel, the directions that plane takes, based on the flat earth principle, it's just not economical. It's almost as a like a waste of fuel if it's easier to get into center points because it's flat, right? So getting from
Well,
point A,
so
yeah.
think about this. So here we have our globe, and the top half is the northern hemisphere, and the bottom half is the southern hemisphere, right?
Yeah.
So you're here, southern half, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the north, right? Anything above the equator, any northern airport to any other northern airport. So any combination, would a plane ever need to go below the equator to get there in the shortest amount of time?
No.
No, and you're right. No plane ever does. So the northern hemisphere would be here's this red line is the equator. So anything inside this red circle is the northern area. And you can draw a line between any one of them, and they never, ever, 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 ever cross the equator. If the Earth was a globe, the same thing would be true for the southern hemisphere. You would never have to go from one southern airport to another southern airport and cross into the northern hemisphere, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense. But that's not what
No, it
happens.
does.
So look, on a flat Earth map, to go from Santiago to Africa, you kind of have to cut up here, or even worse, to Australia, you have to cut across up here. So let's look at, I'm going to just put in the image section here. I created an app that bypasses all the censorship and southern. So hold on, SOUT. There we go. So I typed in southern routes, and if we look here, So this is from New Zealand, right? So New Zealand's right here, Australia's over there,
Mhm.
to Argentina in South
Yeah.
America, right? The flight route goes all the way up across the equator to Houston, Texas, in the United States. I mean, not to, I mean to San Francisco, over to Houston, Texas, and then all the way
Wow.
down to Argentina.
When they could just pretty much fly
They could just go
directly.
directly across, but look, New Zealand, San Francisco, Houston, Texas, Argentina. It's a straight line, right? It's a straight line, right? This is the route it should take. It should just go New Zealand. Whoop. This is what FlightAware says the Great Circle route is, another deception, right? But whether it's
Mhm.
here or you want to say come here with shorter, it's about the same, right? But it goes all the way up, all the way over, and all the way down. And when you look at it on a flat Earth, it couldn't be a straighter line,
Wow.
right? So another thing that happens is emergency landings, right?
Mhm.
So here's a flight from Los Angeles to Taiwan. They had an or Taiwan to Los Angeles had an emergency right here. They could have just
Mhm.
continued, but they went all the way up here to Alaska, which is like 1,500 miles out of the way. And they got there in like 10, 15 minutes. How'd they do that? 1,500 miles in 10, 15 minutes? If you look at it, Taiwan, Alaska's right on the route, right? So emergency landings blow it for them all the time, right? So here's another one from New York to Hawaii. Now it doesn't look far, but it's like 1,000 miles to where it had to go to get to over here. 1,000 miles to get to Seattle. Why didn't it just land in California or wherever? Right? There's tons of airports around here. It went all the way to
Mhm.
Seattle. Seattle's right on that route. Right? Moscow. From here to Moscow, 1,500 miles. Moscow's right on the route. Again, Moscow's right on the route. Calgary. Could have gone to Dallas. Easy smeezy. Went all the way up to Calgary in Canada. It's right on the route. Again, every time there's an emergency landing, it's right on the route. Isn't that weird?
Wow. Yeah, I have to say this is quite compelling evidence. It really is.
Here's the thing. There'll be people that fight against this that are just ignorant. They don't know. Nothing's word with the word ignorant. I'm ignorant to anything I don't know. That means you don't know it. You're ignorant. But there's other people that will Google, and Google will feed them nonsense. They'll feed them the worst interviews ever. They'll feed them just the like top 10 reasons the earth is flat. They're going to feed you top 10 reasons the earth is a globe, right? They don't want you finding this information because this is the information. The truth will set you free, right? Your thoughts create your reality, right? And so whatever you think, you're attracting that to you, right? The like vibrations attract like vibrations. And if you live on a globe, the globe is a prison for your mind. And if you live on a globe in your mind, you can't even process the idea of what this place is, right? Because you're trapped in this globe prison. Let me show you. This is fun. And by the way, I'm going to show you. Let me just show you. Like we can see too far on a globe. So on a flat Earth, you can only see as far as the atmosphere will let you see. Right? Foggy day, you
Mhm.
see less. On a globe, same thing. Foggy day, you can't see as far. But on a globe with the perfect clear conditions, there's only so far you can see because there'd be a physical curve in your way, right? You can't see my
Yeah,
mouth
no,
right now
there'll be
because it's
there'll
behind a
have to be
physical
yeah,
curve, right?
yeah. No,
Very easy. Very
100%
easy.
understand that.
So let's take a look at where is it? Um, this is a very simple one. I like showing this one. I show it often. So large bodies of water at rest lie flat. Here, do you get snow where you are? You don't get it snow.
We do in the northernmost regions, but it's
All right.
very rare. It's
All right.
not
So
not on a flat
our
continent.
lakes freeze here. So we're on a frozen lake here. We got and the lakes freeze flat as can be, 6 inches off the ground, and we have these four lights out here at 8 miles, 7 miles, 6 miles, and 5 miles away. Now it doesn't
Mhm.
seem like far, but according to the globe math, this one should be 30 feet below that physical horizon, 22 feet, 15 feet, and 9 feet. They should all be below the horizon. So on a flat Earth, we're just seeing the lights across the plane where they are. And on a
From
globe
different
Earth,
angles.
you're seeing a tangent. That's your horizon because that's the tangent of the Earth. And this one's refracting up that much. This one's refracting up more. This one's refracting up more. This one's refracting up more. And they all stop magically at the tangent of your eye to the globe. Now, the reason that doesn't make any sense to you is because it's stupid. Right? You're not stupid. It's stupid. Right? You're not stupid. It's stupid. The reason you see them is because they're right there. But you got the globe argument is, oh, they're all just refracting up. It's called standard refraction, and it makes things pop up from behind things that aren't there, and stop at your eye level. Like if we're standing and there was a building in between us, and I started walking away across the flat land, across the globe, actually, which is diving down, eventually I'll refract up and you'll see me above the building.
Refracting off what? I don't know. Is this wouldn't it
It's
doesn't
it's
yeah.
it's
It,
it's magic.
it doesn't.
It's Narnia. It's nonsense. Okay, it's absolute and total, complete and total garbage. But there are people that will fight to the final fight. To defend this, right? And let's talk about sunsets for a minute because sunsets are a good one. And I made a little model to show you how perspective works. So this is I call this my flat Earth kitchen, right?
Mhm.
So I've got this line strung across my counter, and I'm running this sun from it. And right here, this could be mountains or it could be a cloud deck or whatever, but we're looking at it from a celestial point of view. So we're up at the
Mhm.
height of the sun and we're seeing that the sun's going level, right?
Mhm.
Now I have a camera on the counter, so a terrestrial camera looking at it from the other angle. So remember, this line is level. Now let's look at it from the terrestrial point of view. Look at this line. This line is level. This is well above the counter, but it kind of looks like it's at my eye level. So it's the sun's not going below it, it's going beyond it.
Wow.
And if we compare, and
That's
look at this is a level line. I'm zoomed in even more. This is level. It's level, but that's how we see it. And when we compare it
really
to a real sunset, here's the sun going away. What's it going behind right here? It's going beyond. That could be
beyond.
mountains that I can't see, but I know what it is. It's just the atmospheric deck of opacity,
Wow.
and it's just going beyond it. And if I zoom out, the difference between this line and this line that you think is Earth curve just becomes one. It all just compresses into one.
So the question is, where does it end though? If something is traveling in a straight line, there
It's
has
not
to
going
be
a straight
an
line, it's circling. The sun is
circling. Yeah,
circling. In
circling.
the summer, it takes a tighter circle. That's why in the north here in July, which is the middle of our summer,
Mhm.
the sun sets and it's light for 2 more hours. It's still light. The sky is still lit for another almost 2 hours, right?
Mhm.
Because if you look at it, because this is something when you start thinking about this, you're like, wait a minute, if that's what he's saying is true, the sun would have to speed up. For the sun goes around in 24 hours in July around this yellow line, it's only going that far. But in December, it's got to go all the way around this much bigger circles. That means it has to be going faster, right?
Yeah.
It has to be
Yeah.
going faster. So I don't think the sun is a physical object. The sun travels in 6 months and out 6 months, in 6 months and out 6 months. So the hour hand that is not going faster, but the outer part is going faster, right? It's like when you're on a merry-go-round, the outer horses go
Yeah.
fastest,
Yeah.
even though you're
Yeah.
going around once a day. So, but here's something that's very, very interesting and something you could do yourself. The topography of where you live is different everywhere. And so
Yeah.
sunset, twilight times are different for everybody, right? So the sun crosses over your sky And let me show you this. I'm gonna come back to this because I want to show you one thing just to put it into context. So
Mm.
sunsets. One second. Um, where is it? And so the speed of the sunset is what's very, very interesting. So here is on a super clear day, I had a drone up in the air. And now the sun was going down, 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 down. If we're spinning, it should never change speeds. It should just keep on going. But it stopped. Now, my friends were at the beach over here, and they saw the sun set 10 minutes ago from the bottom up. Just like I showed you, it went beyond, right? Beyond that atmospheric deck. I'm still looking at it. And it's not going down. Ready? It's not going down. It's going away, and its light can no longer push through. Right? Its light can no longer push through. So think about this. In June, when the sun sets, it's light for 2 hours. In December, even though the days are shorter, that doesn't matter. Right after sunset, it's dark in 10 minutes. Why is that? So if the Earth was a globe, in June, I have long twilight. So somebody at an equal latitude south in December should have a long twilight. Now, I'm not talking about the length of everything with twilight. I'm talking about the speed difference from your specific location on every day of the year. From June to December, everyone's twilight gets shorter because the sun is going faster and faster and faster. And from December back to June, everyone's twilight gets longer. Whether your twilight is 5 minutes or 50 minutes in June, it'll be less in December. So in December, if your twilight is, let's just say it's 10 minutes. In June, maybe it's 20 minutes or 30 or 40. Okay? Because the sun, even though the days are shorter because the sun's farther away, when it's farther away, it's lower. So that speed right there, that is impossible on a ball. A ball would require 6 months of mirroring seasons and temperatures and everything from the north to the south. Right? Equal latitude north, equal latitude south should have the same weather in December and June, or June and December.
So I guess this is probably maybe on the outside of it is how does this explain some of the changing phenomena that we've seen in terms of, you've heard of pole shifts that have happened historically that have been accounted for where
have they been accounted for? Did you account for them?
I mean, some of them have been recorded, like, there was.
So let me ask you a question. I'm controlling the world, and I want to educate my slaves. Do I want to educate them to overrun me, or to just be a good slave? You want to train them to be a slave.
In terms of archaeological finds, where they would go to places like Siberia, which is almost uninhabitable, where they'd find mammoth remains. And then, unless, again, who knows if that, is true. I mean, people have their perspectives on that. But then with this,
I'm gonna answer you.
No worries. I actually see you're typing something inside.
Yeah. No, I was gonna show you. So I don't know if there were pole shifts. I'm saying everything they tell us is a lie. So I'm not going to believe their pole shift nonsense. But I could explain it if we did experience it. So this is called the moon map. Now, a lot of people, and I'm one of them, I think that the moon's shadows, craters, if you want to call them that, represent the layout of the real Earth. And so this is the moon map, and here is where we live in this green area, right?
Yep.
Okay. And the sun circles around this line. This is where our North Pole is. And our North Pole, say the Earth is wobbling once every 26,000 years. So our North Pole is going to travel around this greater map. And in 13,000 years, it's going to be over here. So in 13,000 years, our sun will be circling over here. And this will all be frozen. So maybe this entire realm orbits goes around and we keep on moving. That's why they're finding pyramids in Antarctica. They're finding all sorts of stuff everywhere. Here's another thing that I want you to look into. On my app, this is called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. I highly recommend you get it. In the more resources section, which is the web button, there's a section called Flat Earth Movies, and there's great documentaries in there. But one of them, actually, that's not where it is. My bad. In the button that looks like a dragon, it's a griffin. It's the Old World section. There's Old World Order. You got to watch that. That's your movie to watch this week, right? Old World Order. You can find it on my website too. You don't even have to get the app. FlatEarthDave.com. Old World Order, and you're going to find out that all of our history is a lie. All of it. Did you like history in school?
I did find it fascinating. I did take it actually, but
you didn't take
not
it.
geographical history. No, I did take it, but not necessarily geography
I hated
of the world.
history. I hate it. It's all bull crap. It's all nonsense. There was an advanced civilization here just a couple hundred years ago, building stuff that we can't build today, technology that we can't even fathom today, right? So, and there was some sort of reset that happened, and the controllers of this world know about it. They're the ones that hold the information. This is what I wanted to show you. So we can kind of wind down with this. So we're talking about Antarctica earlier, right? So what is going on in Antarctica? And the question that's the greatest question of all. The Antarctic Treaty doesn't allow any independent exploration way south, right? But we were looking at some ship tracking sites. You know, you can track cargo ships and cruise ships, and it shows all these ships. And we saw this ship. How did it get in here? Right? This is Antarctica, right? 730 miles from the shore, which is 1.9 miles higher than sea level. And then we found another one 905 miles in, which is over 2 miles above sea level. So how is that possible? Right? So here's a map that was found in a Buddhist temple, 10 centuries old, published in a Hawaiian magazine, showing all of these other continents out here. Right? Now, if I took this map and wrapped it around a ball, all of these continents would be squeezed into the bottom, and you could say that's Antarctica. Right? Think about that. Wrap that around a ball where this line here is halfway around the ball. The rest would have to just crumple down to the bottom. Right? It would all have to be crumpled to the bottom. Right? So America,
and then
America, China, Vietnam, other countries say, by the way, so we looked up at the ship, and it was registered to the nation of Kiribati or Kiribati. Ever hear of him? No.
No.
I have a little pin on it because it's literally a friggin' sandbar in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Okay? Little sandbar. And I'm like, why? They say it's a very important trade route. Why do we need to go to that little place why does a ship? And that ship, oh, by the way, when we clicked on the ship, it had very little information. It said a destination unknown, and it's registered in the island of Kiribati, the nation of Kiribati, and it's 850 meters long by 80 meters wide, which is a gigantic ship, right? So we started looking at the ships that were all trying to go to their giant pier, and all of them had destination unknown or destination Christmas Island. I don't know if you've ever looked into what Christmas is and Santa, anagram for Satan, right? It's like weird. Like, what's going on? What's going on there, right? And if you look at the time zones, time zones are 24 lines from the North Pole to the South Pole, dividing the Earth up like sections in an orange, right? That's how time zones work, right? You understand time zones? Right? Time zones are a line from the North Pole to the South Pole on a globe, 24 of them set up, and as the Earth spins, you have all your time zones, right? Yeah. But there's this one time zone that zigzags all over the place. I never understood it. It goes across 3.5 time zones, and in this, I'll call it the most interesting spot, Kiribati is right there, right? I don't know what that proves. It's just another weird thing about this, right?
Hmm.
You with me? And since we started making these videos, if you search Kiribati on Google Earth, it brings you here to the other side of the world instead of the Kiribati because they changed the name all of a sudden, literally in the last few months. They changed it to Karamati with an M. Okay. This is they literally changed it. Hold on, let's go forward a little bit. So here's where it is, and this is the old video. It says Kiribati, and where's the new one? And this is where it takes you now, right? But try to yeah, Kiribati, and now it's Karamati. Bizarre, right? So
Yes.
hang on, let me just show you what I think is going on. And one other thing, there's 19 time zones in the north, 24 in the tropics, and 32 in the south. That's actually exists. How does that work on a globe? How can there be 32 time zones in the south? If it's all compressing down to the bottom of a ball,
Present.
it's spreading out. That's why there's all these time zones, right?
Wow.
So going back to that map, um, where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. So if this is the map of the world, maybe there is a trade route going out here to the outer lands. And maybe they're trading computer chips, weapons, children, food, tuna fish. I don't know. If there was a trade route from here going out, another one from here going out here, another one from here going out to other civilizations, right? But think how many trade routes we have inside of here. Okay.
Mm.
What if there's way more advanced civilizations out here? What if that's where the Incans and the Mayans and, the Atlanteans all moved out to? How would you know?
It is. It is possible. It is definitely. I mean, again,
How would you know?
yeah. I'm not the one to know this, but
This is the Dallas airport here in the United States. This is the TSA, the TSA where they check you to make, the guard,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
The flat earth map, they're guarding you. They're showing you. They're guarding you. They're restricting where you go. It's just weird. It's weird. What if
Yeah,
the
it
world was
was.
what if the world was set up like this? Right? Let me ask you a question. Let's see if you get it. We live here, right? Here, you live right here. And there's extra territory out here. Extra terra for short. If
Mhm.
somebody lived out here on the extra terra, and they came in here to visit you, what might you consider them?
Very clever play on words there. Very
What would you
clever
consider
there.
them? An
Very
extraterrestrial from
good.
where? The outer space.
Uh,
Now that's physically possible versus we live on a lumpy rock surrounded by curved, smooth water that no one's ever measured a curve on, surrounded by high pressure air, adjacent to a void, a vacuum of no pressure, a space vacuum without a container. All of that is impossible. And we're orbiting and twirling and whirling, and none of the stars ever change positions. Or we live in an enclosed system, and there's more land, perhaps. I
so
think there's
you're
more land.
saying, so you're saying it's not possible for us to escape.
I'm not
Basically,
saying that
based
at
on
all.
this,
I'm saying, that
because if you're saying, space exists beyond the defined borders that we already live on,
we don't
um,
know. We don't know what's beyond Antarctica, and you don't need to speculate. But I love speculating about it. There's books. If you go to the book section in here and you go to the more land section, there's some great books. I recommend this. This book is awesome. It's called The Navigator Who Crossed the Ice Wall. Cheap book, thin, easy reading, and it's fascinating. But in that book is this map it's literally a story about this map, right here, right? So what is this? What is this? Right? So we live here. in this pond. This is our local
Mm-hmm.
pond. And here are other ponds
Mm.
across the plain, right?
Mm.
So if you wanted to go to another world, you just have to go a few 10,000 miles instead of incomprehensible light years, right? They tell us the closest star to us is 4.5 light years or 25 trillion miles away.
Mm.
Oops, 25 trillion miles away, right? Go back there. So it's 25 trillion miles away. Do you know how far that is? Can you
Yeah, no,
can you fathom it? Do you know how long
it's
1 trillion seconds
incomprehensible.
is?
It's definitely incomprehensible.
Take a guess. 1 trillion
What,
seconds.
seconds.
Yeah.
I've been working on this, my brain's fried. I wouldn't be able to
If you
guess.
can guess it within 2 days, I'll give you a Bitcoin.
Oh my goodness me.
One guess. You have 5 seconds. Come on. Four,
Yeah.
three, two. Come on.
I'll lose that on the Bitcoin then.
All right. You're not even going to take a guess.
No, no.
31,000 years. That's 1 trillion. So if we were going to the closest star traveling at a mile per second, we could travel for 31,000 years and we're only 1/25th of the way there. Is that stupid? Is that ridiculous? And you
Yeah,
think that we can
yeah.
see these stars, right? Right? Polaris, which I can see every night with my naked eye, is 433 light years away. 100 times farther than what I was just describing to you. And I can see with my naked eye. All of this is space nonsense. It's dilute your mind. You've never been taught to deal with large numbers. You've never been taught to think critically, because the way you become a teacher, a professor, is you memorize and regurgitate the bullshit. Right? If I wrote the book bullshit, you memorized it and tested 100 on it, I'll give you a certificate and say you've got a diploma in bullshit. And now when you talk bullshit with your friends, they're not allowed to question you because they don't have a degree. You have a degree. And now you are the authority. That's how this world works.
Hey, yeah, no, a lot to process, a
Uh,
lot that you brought up.
here's the processing for you. Go to my website, flatearthdave.com. Scroll down and you'll see a thing that says crash course. Click that and just start watching those videos. Start watching those videos. You'll love them. They're really well done. Don't believe anything. Verify everything. But start watching those videos, and I guarantee your life will change forever. Watch Old World Order. It's in there. Watch those videos. And if you really want to get into it, the app is super fun. And you can find other people around you. Like right now, the friend finder is offline, but it'll be back online in a couple of days. But right here, so these are the people that are around me. Hold on, let it load again. These are the other people that have my app that are around me. So I can
Wow.
click on them, look at their profile, message them, set up meetups, you can do all sorts of stuff. And these are all
Wow,
like-minded,
incredible,
awake, aware, beautiful people.
incredible.
It's got a dating app on it where you can find other people that are interested and find companionship. And guess what? Listen, I'm going to tell you, I created a big problem for you. You're going to start watching those videos. In a couple of weeks, you're going to be a full-on flat earther. How are you going to find a girlfriend? It ain't going to be easy. It's not going to be easy because you're going to be like, hey, you talk about things you're into and, oh, you guys are getting along with. All right, I got one more thing I got to tell you. Earth is flat.
Uh,
Okay. But on here, at least you can find somebody that has the ability to think, an intelligent person, and they're all beautiful people.
wow. Oh, Dave. Honestly, I loved everything that you spoke about today.
Thanks,
Again,
brother.
not the type of person in terms of retaining information and being factual. So I'm the worst person to talk to in terms of that. So I probably wasn't engaging in the debate
No,
that
no,
you're seeking.
you're good.
But
I could see that you were thinking. Other people just can't think and literally just try to think of the next question before they listen. You listened and you comprehended. Here's the thing: stop giving away your intelligence, because you are way more intelligent than even you think, right? You are given God-given curiosity and common sense. Everything is common sense, but they've filled you up with so much nonsense. It's overwhelming, and you're just like, well, my common sense doesn't match their nonsense, therefore I'm stupid. No, that's stupid. It's stupid. You're not stupid. So
No, thank you.
watch those videos. Think for yourself. Go out and do some experiments. You can do them yourself. People say, well, we're too small to see the curvature. Not according to their math. There's 6 feet of curvature at just 3 miles. At 100 miles, there's over a mile of curvature. Okay?
Yeah.
We can see things far beyond where the curvature would allow. Now, there's certain days you can't. Atmospheric conditions. How come you can't see America? Atmosphere. You just can't see through it. I showed you the sun fade out, right? The sun can't even push through.
No, 100%.
We barely scratched the surface, but check it out. All right.
The last question I have for you actually is, well, 2 questions. The last 2 questions I have is, obviously, just so that people know, I have to ask the question again. How can people access the information that you offer? And what are your words of wisdom and advice for those tuning in today?
Believe nothing, verify everything. Everything can be found at flatearthdave.com. If you know any big podcasts, radio shows, little podcasts, interesting people that would like to have me on, there's a book, Flat Earth Dave link. We can start a discussion. I'm booked pretty solid through the end of the year right now. Go to my website. If you don't, the app is $3, one-time charge. You have it forever. Gives you 95% of the app. But if you want to use the messaging, the friend finder, and the dating thing, it's $11 a year. But I have a way that you can do that for free, where you just recommend the app and you get points, and then you get the subscription for free. Everything's at flatearthdave.com, but you don't have to pay for anything. Go there, watch the crash course videos, and ignore the trolls here, and ignore me. Listen, don't believe me. Don't believe the trolls, because the trolls will show up on your video before I even find that you posted it. And they'll be like, oh, Dave's a scammer. He's doing this. They'll say, but they'll never offer a flat earth proof. And the ones that are there commenting on every comment, go look at their channels. Those are the globe proof channels. And what I mean by that, there's 0 content on their channel. So they have all the globe proofs there. There's nothing. But they spend all of their life following me everywhere. It's a pretty sad life. But they have no globe proof. They only have attacks, ad homs, and everything else. So use your discernment. Don't give up your God-given intelligence and say, well, I don't have a degree. You know what? The higher of a degree you have, the more indoctrinated you are.
Dave, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Wishing you a happy first season with the family.
Thank you.
Depending how you spend it, and it'll be good to have you on the show again. Definitely. Maybe in getting a globe believer more firmly believed and having a bit of a debate would also be interesting to see.
I don't really go up against these. There's these deceivers out there that go around and just debate, and they'll never ever concede. They'll come and they'll go, flat earthers will never explain a sunset. I explained the sunset. I explained it 900 different ways, but then they'll just repeat it after you explain it to them. Flat earthers never explain a sunset. They can't address it because it destroys their globular fantasy religion. So,
all right. A follow-up podcast would be great. I'm sure people found the information you presented quite eye-opening. And
maybe ask your listeners to throw in some questions. Come up with a list of questions.
100%,
all of them. There you go.
No, 100%. I think that'll be what it did. Obviously, we're a small and growing podcast, so we need to get the following. So having you as a guest and just seeing some of the podcasts you've been on, very big names. So the fact that you even reached out to just come onto our podcast is truly, truly appreciated. Can't extend it enough.
It's the little ones that make a difference sometimes. So I try to reach everybody when I have time, and thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much.
Hey, everyone. If you enjoyed this interview, please help support my work and help wake up others by referring or gifting the app to at least one person today. By doing that, you're going to help wake people up and help me to continue doing other interviews like this. With the censorship out there that's going on, it's very difficult to find relevant information. And the app, as you know, brings people to the truthful information of our world. So help support my work, help support your efforts in waking up friends, family, and strangers. Gift them the app or just recommend the app. And let's make 2025 the year Flat Earth breaks free. Check the links below for information on how to gift the app or just refer the app to others and use your referral code to earn Dome cryptocurrency and a free subscription. Thanks.